For the last 2 years, I've been thinking to myself, how did I not see it? How did I not see what a violent relationship I had? What exactly a toxic relationship means? Most of us think of toxic relationships just usually being men, but toxic relationships, the toxic person can also be a woman. It doesn't always necessarily have to be violent, it can also be abusive verbally, mentally. They can tell you basically you're not adequate to do something. They make you feel inferior. They're never there for you, but you always have to be there for them. And every single thing you do, no matter how good or how bad, it's your fault. It's never good. Believe me, it's never good. If the food is good, they don't say anything. If you do, like if it's slightly crispy or if you slightly burnt it, it's not good. You will never hear the end of it at night. You will go to bed with such a high blood pressure or such a headache or so angry that you will just want to fist something. Now, toxic relationships. Most of the times people tell us, from the start, that person is not good for you. And as a person who thinks they're in love, or maybe somehow you are in love with that person, maybe you think that deep down a person is gonna change, that person never really changes. That person never changes. They will be two-faced, and that is really bad. They'll smile at first until they get you overwhelmed, and then they will try separating you from your family and your friends and stuff. People who really know you, telling people, like, oh, they don't know you like I do. They don't love you. They don't care. They're lying to you. You don't understand. I love you. And then comes you're stupid. You don't understand. You're sick. You're mentally sick. And heaven forbid if you're ever taking medication or something, because then you'll definitely, you'll never hear the end of it. Sort of, oh, that you're thinking like that because so and so gave you that idea, or because of your medication. Your medication is making you crazy. You're thinking like that because you're crazy. You're not thinking like that. It takes you a while. I had a 6 year relationship with a person who I was very infatuated with. I knew him for 18 years, maybe a few months more. I thought it was love. At first, I thought, oh my gosh, I loved him and stuff. And then you just see things differently with time. Um, I don't know. I don't think everyone is the same. Um, for me, at first, it was you're fat, you're eating too much. Um, don't go running. You don't need to go running. Why are you going to the gym? You're wasting your money. Stay home. You're eating too much. Can't you always eat less? Can't you eat less? Don't talk to your family. They don't. They're jealous of us. They don't want our they don't want us to be together. And now I will tell you that as a mother of a boy, I will tell you that they are as a mother, I will tell you that a parent never wants what's worse for their child. They will probably have different ways of showing it, but a parent never wants something bad for their child because that child came out of you. You get attached to it, you love it, you take care of them. No. So if your girlfriend or boyfriend is acting in a certain way and your parents keep on telling you, like, don't do what they tell you, and you move away from home, and then you start seeing that mommy and daddy were actually right, don't let 2 years pass so that you can figure out that mommy and daddy were right, and don't wait 2 years to start taking action. Okay, it will hurt at first. You will not want to leave because like, I don't want to be alone, and I'll be a single mom, and everyone will judge me and stuff. And you know what, love? I'll tell you honestly from the bottom of my heart, better a single mom than being in an abusive relationship. And not only, but violence in children are not good, because you know what, love, children start acting the way they see people around the house. Some of them become protective, but some of them also become violent, and in respect, they don't respect the other one. You know, like if the mom is the victim, or maybe there are dads also. It doesn't define you as a person to be a bully. It's it is not funny. There is nothing funny about being a bully. Um, some people think that they're somehow superior if they insult you, if they criticize you, constant criticizing, insulting, slapping, beating, locking in the house. That is not make you a person. And you know what? There's this saying in my language where it says, "Sangue apa no se face." Blood never turns into water, no matter what you do to it. Blood is blood. No matter how many fights you have with your family, no matter how far you go, if you know that saying, all roads lead back home. And you just have to get your act together and say basically, I am done with this shit. I am done, and you can take your stuff and just walk. And when you walk out that door, when you walk out that door and you finally made your decision, never look back. Looking back is like swallowing your vomit. I know that sounds very, very gross, but it will hurt more because that person will contact you and tell you like, "Oh, I'm dying. Please come back." They'll make tell you all sorts of things and make all sorts of promises, and deep down you know they will never keep that promise. Okay, like, "Oh, we'll get married, we'll have this huge happy family and stuff," and you know it will never happen. So all you need to do is keep your ground. It is not easy, and I'm never saying it is easy to hold your ground, but you have to, because do it for yourself. I mean, maybe sometimes you will missing having a private life, but a private life does not define you with a toxic person. I'm sure that deep down somewhere else in this world there are people that are very attracted to you and who feel um who want to be near you, not a person that is toxic. No matter how big the muscles, how big the boobs, or whatever, money, I don't know what people think about it. They will never be there for you. When a person dies and near you, or when you have problems, or when you're in a hospital, they don't care. All they want is you to indirectly be a slave. They want you to run around for them. They want you crying over them and begging them and oh my gosh, I can't live without you. They want your attention. They want you to be their slave. That is exactly the word I will use. I didn't really want to use it, but that is exactly what they want you to do. And you know the funny thing about a toxic relationship? You can't even say you'll have sexual activity because they don't do that either. And then, like, "Oh, I'm embarrassed to walk with you on the street. How could I ever be caught walking with you on the street? Don't you ever see how you're dressed? You're never smiling." Of course I'm never smiling. You're never there for me, so why would I smile? Toxic people are like a tumor. If you do not cut it out, they will give you necrosis or whatever, and they will just make it bigger and bigger and bigger until you will actually have to cut off the whole limb. So, if you have a toxic person in your life, not just in your relationship, get that person out of your life, because they do not want what's best for you. They do not care, no matter what you say or no matter how many excuses you make for them. They are never going to give a fuck. about anything, not just you, about your kid, no matter if you have kids with that person. Um, they just don't. So get your act together and heads up. And honestly, I wish you the best.